And now, here are your hosts, the Schnitzel Boys.
So now, this is it, the main event.
Ricardo Pepi.
Ricardo Pepi.
$20 million. $20 million. So, forever it was like, is it Ajax? Is it Bayern? Is it Wolfsburg? I was not crazy on the Wolfsburg move. There's Lucas Nemecha, Luca Waldschmidt, Wout Weghorst. What's Pepi going to do? He's going to be fourth fiddle and a team that only has one number 9. So, in comes Augsburg with twice the offer.
Yeah.
On a club. Now, they've got firepower, too. They've got Finn Bogerson. They've got Michael Gregoritsch. They've got Andre Hahn. They also have a great young German dude who is their main number 9, whose name I'm escaping at the moment, but we'll hear about it in a second.
A young. Oh, you're talking about.
What's his name? Look at that.
Well, their main guy is. Now you're catching me.
They also had a Venezuelan dude named Cordova, who's on the roster, who's also number 9. I'm thinking of Florian Niederlechner.
Yeah,
That's
right. But he is not a young. He's not a young man, and he has been.
I'm sorry.
He has been. He has been.
He's
injured.
31. Sorry, I totally missed.
The Andy Zakiri is his replacement. He's a younger Swiss guy. But no one in Augsburg has scored more than 3 goals.
Right, no one's stepping up to the plate.
Yeah.
So now we got Ricardo Pepi, young American hype train dude, and so I wanted to reach out to an Augsburg man. I wanted to be like, talk to me. How are the fans feeling? Let's get the inside scoop on this transfer. And we talked to Rolf Stormann.
Rolf Stormann.
Stormann, I want to get the O right. Stormann. Which is an OE sound. Do it one more time for me.
Stormann.
Stormann.
Yeah, very nice.
My American voice keeps coming through. I have an umlaut. My last name. Schütte.
Yeah. Usually, yeah. I've sort of. I treat it as optional now, but my name has an umlaut. Björn.
Oh, you mean over the O?
Yeah, over the O, right.
Yeah, I just habitually always spell it with UE. So anything that's German, I spell U with an umlaut, and anything American is just UE. I back and forth.
I hate that. I hate my name spelled that way. So I just gave up on the umlaut. Anyway.
Smart. I love it. Anyway, so we gave him a little interview, and then... Yeah, how do we want to do this? We broke it up to a few parts. He was great. We took a little bit of his time.
It was very nice. Yeah, it was very nice to talk to him. We appreciate just getting the inside perspective because this is a big deal. I mean, I'm kind of, as a not as engaged U.S. men's national team fan, I make fun of it a little bit that every 6 months there's the new hot great American hope.
Right.
At the number 9 position, and then in the end, Jesse Zardes always starts.
Well, we have 3 perspectives. We have 3 me, who's connected to it in one way, him, who's connected to it in a totally different way with this club from the club perspective, and you, who's disconnected on either end and can be a neutral observer. So we've got 3 great perspectives.
Can just make fun of it all, but yeah, that's and so let's
without further ado,
let's bring it up.
So yeah, so we asked. So he speaks comfortably in German. So we talked to him in German, and we're gonna do some dub translation the way we do here at Schnitzel at the Schnitzel House.
So yeah, we can. There he is. There's Rolf, top left.
That's right.
And I started just by asking him if he realizes what's coming his way. The hopes and dreams of U.S. soccer fans are now in the hands of FC Augsburg. Does he realize?
Wisst ihr denn, was auf euch zukommt? Das Schicksal des amerikanischen Fußballs.
The fate of American soccer is in the hands of FC Augsburg. Are you aware of this?
No.
He was very funny. He said no. So so again, as a reminder, I've said it a few times, this is he is the stadium announcer and the voice of FC Augsburg and hosts the FC Augsburg podcast. So he's very on the pulse of the Augsburg group. So pretty much we're like, are you ready to get a bunch of U.S. soccer fans on Twitter bother you every week, and he's like, no, he has no idea what he's about to get into.
Yeah,
So-
he did not. He asked us to explain to him what do you mean? And I think, I mean, we'll see how real this is going to be. Maybe we'll ask him a couple months down the road. But already, Augsburg is now selling their jerseys internationally, which was you could not buy an Augsburg jersey in America before, so that's a new thing. And
That's right.
and there is a wave of interest coming their way that he, I guess, was not aware of. And then we talked a little bit about the angst, the angst that American fans are feeling about this move, like the Wolfsburg. You were mentioning the Wolfsburg as a destination didn't seem that appealing, and so I said to him, "It sounds like Augsburg has a little room at number 9." And he said,
sicherlich Platz,
He said, "Yeah, we do have some room at number 9. We have a few strikers. It's not that we don't have any, but a lot of them are injured or they're not informed. We still have COVID problems here in Germany. Nobody has really missed a lot of time, but it's still something. But even when our forwards play well, you can just look at the table and you see we need goals. We're missing some goals.
Der Tore schießen kann.
We need someone who can score goals.
Ich rede nicht offiziell für
And
den Verein,
I'm not speaking officially for the club,
ich glaube,
even though I do work
FC
for them, but
Augsburg
the
hat sich
club
sehr große
the
Gedanken
club
gemacht
put a lot of
und
effort and
überlegt,
thought into
was man da jetzt macht mit
what can
Ricardo.
be done, and so Ricardo
Ist das für unsere Verhältnisse natürlich
is
nicht.
the option, and this is not he's not a cheap option by Augsburg's budget, sort of where he doesn't. He's saying, like, we don't know exactly how much it was. Somewhere between 13 and 20 million dollars is the number that's been thrown
Zwischen
out.
13 und 20 Millionen.
Yeah.
Ist auch vielleicht teilweise bezahlt werden, also so in
And
Raten.
some of it, and it's going to be paid in installments or whatever the details are of the financial transaction.
Für die Bundesliga eigentlich ganz
In the
normal.
Bundesliga, this is a normal
Transfersumme.
amount to spend on transfers, but on the other hand, because of the COVID situation, we don't have fans, and there's a lot of income lost.
Millionen
And,
für einen Spieler zu bezahlen.
And so to spend this much money on one player is a little risky, but
Ricardo ist auch jung, wird sich
he's a
entwickeln, das kann aber
young
FC
young
Augsburg
player.
auf
He
jeden Fall.
can
Wenn
develop
jetzt,
at FC
ich glaube,
Augsburg.
hatte Probetraining bei Real Madrid
He's
oder
tried out
Wolfsburg, du hast
at
schon gesagt, wollte
Real
oder
Madrid. He
Bayern,
was
FC Bayern hat auch schon
Wolfsburg
Probetraining
was
gemacht.
in the discussion
Natürlich
in Bayern.
auch
He
dahin
trained with
wechseln,
Bayern,
aber wäre
and so there were
vielleicht
other
nur jemand,
teams
der auf der Bank sitzt.
possible.
Also,
but that at those clubs he would probably just
und
be on the
das-
bench,
das
and that
würde
would
sich vielleicht
probably
für mich lohnen.
not be the best
Super
move for
gespannt
him.
und ich
And
muss,
I'm really
tatsächlich sagen,
excited
ich habe von ihm vorher nicht
to
wirklich
see him.
viel
I
gehört,
have to be
weil
honest, I have
für
not
uns,
heard of him
for us
before,
Germans,
because here in Germany
American
we
soccer
do
is
not
so
pay.
so
It's
big.
not so
Ja, ja.
big.
Ich weiß,
American
dass,
soccer is not that big, but
Fußball
we
schon
do
sehr gut
know
ist. Also,
we
das
do
ist
know
nicht
that
so,
soccer
dass,
is
dass
growing
es,
and is
schlecht ist
improving.
oder so, aber
It's
für
not
uns
that
ist
it's not
Amerika Football,
bad in Germany. But when we think of
Basketball,
American sports, we
das
think
ist-
of baseball,
wenn ich an
basketball,
US-Sport
American
denke,
football.
denke ich an
And,
sowas, aber natürlich kriegt man auch immer mit,
but we
Carlos
do
Grayson
see
ist,
how
von Dallas
Carlos, he's mentioning Carlos Grazo has come to Augsburg previously.
Who is that?
From-
You guys, who is that? Is
He's
he
I
American?
think he's Ecuadorian or Dominican.
Was he from MLS?
He played for FC Dallas a couple years. A good player,
Oh.
and he moved to Augsburg. I think he's also currently injured, so he's not playing as much. But yeah, he was obviously not at the level of Pepi, but also not the first.
Oh, okay, so yeah, he's at Augsburg and he was at Dallas. But before he was at Dallas,
Yeah.
he was at Stuttgart for 2 seasons.
Mhm.
So, but
Right.
yeah, okay, cool.
Back and
Sorry,
forth.
I didn't know who he was. Okay.
Yeah.
Also, ja, es ist nicht so, dass wir uns
So
da
it's
nicht
not.
auskennen.
So it's not that. It's not like. It's not like we don't. It's not like we don't know anything about soccer in the U.S. But yeah, Pepi. I mean, Pepi was new to us as well. Like 6.
Well, I mentioned he's only been a professional for a year.
Yeah, he's only been a pro for a year. Right, exactly.
Yeah.
You were saying that.
I didn't even know he trained with Real Madrid. I don't know if that was true or not. But it could have been like a training stint or something. I don't know, because that is his dream club. He doesn't want to make its way to Real Madrid.
I think it was sort of. Yeah, I don't know if he was not training as in like, oh, he's part of the team, just as a kind of a tryout, perhaps. Yeah,
training stint or whatever. Yeah, They do that sometimes. Yeah, and then I asked him if he remembers Michael Parkhurst, who played for Augsburg, and he did not remember.
He did not. Which is, I mean.
Which is totally understandable. Because
fair play to him. This was 8 years ago, and he played 2 games.
Two games. I thought he played more. That surprised me. I know he was on the books there. I think Michael Parkhurst was injured. I think he injured his leg or something. But that was his big. Like Michael Parkhurst, I think was in Denmark. He was crushing it. And then, or Norway, I don't remember where. And then it's like, all right, it's Bundesliga time. Let's do this. And I think he had a pretty bad injury. And unfortunately, that hampered his career. He came back to MLS, where he had a great MLS career. And he played for Atlanta many years and won the MLS Cup as Atlanta captain, I believe, or vice captain at least. But anyway, that's just the Michael Parkhurst bit. So this is, Ricardo Pepi is the second American to go to Augsburg.
Right.
But it seems like they're really excited about it.
Well, you asked him to tell us how this unfolded from his perspective, and here's what he had to say about that.
Also, ich kann es euch kurz erzählen, wie das.
I can tell you how this went down for us the last 2 days. We kind of heard some rumors that Ricardo was deciding to go to Augsburg and not to Wolfsburg or anywhere else. And that was a special thing for us because FC Augsburg, compared to other clubs in the Bundesliga, does not have that big a budget. It's a very solidly run club. There's not a lot of debt, and we made it through COVID without pretty unscathed financially. But then there was some question as to where does this money come from. There is a new investor, David Blitzer, and he may contribute to this. We're not exactly sure. There are a lot of contacts and connections. It seems like Ricardo has been on our radar for a little while. Our coach Markus Weinziel has known him for a while, and so there's been some connection. And whatever the financials, doesn't matter how this happened and who made the connections for us and for the fans. It's important that somebody comes that can help us, that could score goals. That is what we need. That's what we've been missing. And when you look at the table, it is very, very tight. We're pretty far down right now, almost all the way down. And there's not a lot of distance in terms of points upwards. And if we just couldn't get a few wins in a row, we could almost make our way into Europe, which that's of course a little bit of a far reach right now. But in this season, really everything is still possible. SC Freiburg is third right now, and they're not really all that many points ahead they're closer to the relegation zone than they are to really to the top 2 teams. So he was saying there's a lot of room upwards, and somebody like Pepi could make a big difference.
Yeah, knock on wood. That is crazy, but the top 2, like Bayern München, are off in their own world. Then Dortmund are in their own second world. Then 3rd to 17th, because Greuther Fürth are also in their own world, down bottom. 3rd to 17th is a pretty tight pack. I think the entire thing is only separated by 9 or 10 points or something like that. Yeah. So no, 100%.
And so and I was telling him that as a fan of Bochum, I'm obviously a little worried. We're only 2 points. We're only 2 points ahead of Augsburg, and excuse me. And so if Pepi is gonna score goals left and right, that could be a problem for my team. But anyway.
Not for my team, Team USA. Not for my team at all.
Yeah, and he then talked a little bit about how Augsburg, he thinks the team is solid, that the morale is good, the mentality is good. After I
asked him how the fans felt, and pretty much, it's just like It's like could be better. Could be worse, could be better. Right in the middle there.
I mean, they're in 15th place. Obviously, no one's
Right.
excited about that. But he felt like that he actually felt like that the cup game against Bochum that they ended up losing in penalties was sort of a turning point where the team kind of came together, and it felt like they were sort of becoming a more coherent squad, and they've just been lacking in goals, and they have the problems that everybody has, that there's some people are injured, and some people get yellow card accumulation and this and that, and
they don't have the depth that the bigger clubs do. So
exactly.
when a couple players are missing, they start dropping points. So 100%.
And and then he asked us actually to tell him a little bit about Pepi, and because he was wondering if is he really that big a deal, or is this just more of a Dallas, a local? Is he a local celebrity or a
he didn't know. Yeah, he was like, "What's it like over there?" So what we shared is like it's a big deal in the soccer community. Yeah. There is the Pepi train, there's the hype train. Here's the next great hope, and I do mention, like I said, that they're the number 9 on the national team is a little shallow. So we're a little desperate to find a guy there, and Pepi's the guy who's been touted to step up.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you have this in my broken German. I tried to explain kind of what his strengths were as a player.
Right.
And I mentioned that. Do you have that? Is that the clip? Because you guys use this word that you have to tell me about.
We could.
Sprachgefühl.
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 This is our
Sprachgefühl.
Yeah, you guys were both saying this word. I'm like, hey, teach me the Sprachgefühl. What word is this?
The word is Knipser.
Knipser. What's a Knipser? You guys use a Knipser to describe Ricardo, or I guess I describe Ricardo Pepi as a player who is a great finisher in the box. Kind of like the Gerd Müller style a little bit. But when he goes in deep and has to bring the ball in for himself, that's where he doesn't excel. I haven't seen super much skills in that department, but in the box, scoring goals, that he can do as long as he gets service. And it seems like that really excited him, because he's just like, that's who we need.
Well, that's how I sort of summed it up. I said, well, he's a Knipser, and a Knipsen is like if you're flipping a switch. You're knipsen Licht an, du kannst das Licht anknipsen, the light goes on, and that's what it is. That's what the Knipser just puts it in the net. That's it. You're like so
he switches. So like if a ball comes in, he's a one-touch kicker right in the goal. He switches it in the goal. Is that the idea?
It's not about how he does it. It doesn't describe whether it's with your head, with your foot. It's just the guy who can put it in the net. He doesn't have to be. Like there's. Gerd Müller obviously is the epitome of this. Robert Lewandowski right now. He's gonna mention him. I always remember there was this guy Michael Tönnies, in MSV Duisburg. He set all sorts of records for goal scoring in the second Bundesliga, and he would literally, you could see him smoke after the game. He would make fun of beginning of the season, they're taking my blood lactate or whatever. He would be relatively out of shape, not fast, not really even particularly athletic, but he was the Knipser. He was in the box, and he would find the back of the net, and that is what that word describes. And it sounds like he was trying to be what Gonzalo Higuain wanted to be in MLS this year. Sounds like he successfully achieved it, while Gonzalo Higuain did not achieve it. And I think Pepi did it, and that's sort of how I described it to him, and that's and he picked that up. Hold on, let me find this answer.
Brauchen genau einen Knipser.
Yeah, that is exactly 100% what we need. We need a Knipser, just like you said.
Mm-hmm.
Ich denke,
I think
Vorbereiter haben
we have
genug,
enough.
wenn ich
We
jetzt
have
an
enough
Ruben Vargas
service
denke,
providers.
André Hahn,
We have Ruben Vargas, Andre
Niklas
Hahn,
Dorsch,
Niklas Dorsch. We have
Arne
all these
Meyer,
people
also
who
auch
can
die,
provide,
Caligiuri,
who are
die
providers,
bringen die Bälle schon rein in die
and they
Box,
will
ja.
bring the balls
Und,
into the
wenn man
box.
mal Robert Lewandowski
And if you
von den
look at
Bayern
Robert
so anschaut,
Lewandowski for
ja,
Bayern,
der macht schon auch
he
was,
does
aber im
other
Endeffekt steht
stuff,
er immer
but
genau
really
da,
what
in
his
der Box.
skill is, he's in the right place at the right
Knipser.
time in the
Und
box,
Robert Lewandowski
and that
schießt
is
nicht
what a
umsonst ein
Knipser
Tor
is,
nach dem nächsten,
and
weil
that's
er ist
how
drin.
he
Und,
that's how
das-
he
das
scores
fehlt
one
uns
goal
ein
after the
bisschen.
other,
Also wir
because
haben,
that's what
Florian
he
Niederlechner, der
what
hat's
he
auch gut
does.
gemacht. Irgendwie
And we have Florian
fehlt dann
Niederlechner, who is also good at this, but he's been
von mir aus
out
das
injured.
Spielglück oder was auch immer es sein mag.
But somebody, whatever it is, their replacements have just lacked that quality, that kind of, whether it's luck, whether it's the right feeling,
Die Chancen sind da, die Abschlüsse sind
The-
da, aber es
the-
reicht
the
halt nicht, um
opportunities
wirklich mal
are
das Spiel zu
there,
entscheiden.
but
Und, das kann sich
nobody,
auch wieder ändern.
they cannot finish. Nobody is finishing in a way that sort of turns these games around, that can turn ties into wins and losses into ties.
Das ist wie immer eine Phase.
And
Wir
that's,
wissen
you
alle,
know,
dass die
there's
spielen
always,
können. Wir
it's
wissen,
always,
dass die alle
it
Tore
comes and
schießen
goes,
können.
it comes in
Alfred
waves.
Bogerson, bestes
Sometimes
Beispiel, der immer wieder verletzt.
we have
Der
some
kann das,
players
ja, der macht
who
das
have
auch.
that quality,
Aber
but
wenn er nicht da
have
ist
been
und wieder
injured
reinkommen
and
muss, ist das
have
schwierig.
lost
Und genau beim
time.
Knipser, wie du gesagt hast,
And just like you
ist
said, the
eigentlich
Knipser
das, was der
is
FC Augsburg seit längerem
exactly
nicht mehr so
the
richtig
thing that
hatte.
we haven't had
Einer,
for
der
a
da
while.
steht, die Bälle
Somebody who is there
irgendwie verwerten kann
and
und
some
rein-
whatever way
fertig.
can
Ja,
take
das
the
ist
balls,
schon- das ist so
can
sein-
take
das
the
ist sein
can take
Profil
the
auf jeden
service, and in whatever way get it into the back of the net
And finish
and
it.
finish
Yeah.
it. Finish.
Closer, ABC,
And,
always be
yeah.
closing. Yeah.
And that, I mean, that really is Pepi, right? Like that's his
Yep.
quality. It's not, you wouldn't say he's not the fastest. He's not like a bruiser. He's I think it's
No.
his kind of he's a little slight in stature. We have to see how that
If-
goes.
If you give him 5 opportunities, I think a striker is supposed to score 2 or 3 of them. That's sort of the numbers. And I see that from a Pepi. I think he can pull that off. You know, like as of late, it's been cold. Like for USA Bosnia, he only had 1 opportunity that he didn't finish. But he only had 1 opportunity. So he needs more. He needs a little bit more.
Right.
So I think if he gets now in the Bundesliga, especially Augsburg, they're gonna, if you play against a Bayern München, there's only gonna be 1 or 2 or 3 opportunities at best throughout the game, perhaps. But in other games, you know, hopefully there's more. And like I said, hopefully he hits more times than not. And I think
Yeah.
if he does that, it's already a big deal for him and the club. And I think we're in a good spot. So I'm excited to see how that turns out.
It does. It really sounds like it's a good. This is really a good spot for him. He will get. We'll see how it goes. You never know. He's 18 years old. He's got a long way to go. But like he will get opportunities, and that's really all you can ask for, right?
It sounds like he might play on Saturday. It sounds like he might play. Maybe it'll be a week, but
he said he was ready today. I read he was in the press conference today. He said that he was ready to play. He's physically ready.
Yeah.
And it's the coach's decision. So he may, I don't know. We'll see if he comes off the bench. They're playing Hoffenheim at home. And we will be the American hopes and dreams are riding
Ricardo
on
Pepi
on
versus Chris Richards.
Slight shoulders of Ricardo Pepi.
Ricardo Pepi versus Chris Richards.
It was really great to hear Rolf's perspective. Thanks again to him. It was a delight to talk to him. It's very fun. And we have what were you going to say?
I was going to say, don't we have one more bonus?
We do.
Feature.
This again will require a little bit of explanation. There is I mean, Augsburg, no disrespect to FC Augsburg, but the number one thing when a German person thinks of Augsburg, they think of the Augsburger Puppenkiste, which is a
Puppenkiste,
which translates as to puppet box.
Right.
And what the Augsburger Puppenkiste is, it's a marionette theater that has existed for, I don't actually know how long, almost 100 years, I would guess. Or
probably back when it was a thing.
Back when marionettes were a thing. Oh, it's still a thing. It was, see, there is a And I am very familiar with this. This was a huge part of my childhood where they would have these TV adaptations of children's books in marionette form. They would have like marionettes on TV reenacting these stories, and it seems now kind of a quaint form of entertainment, but this was my childhood. In fact, this one that you have up here, the Ermel franchise. Ermel was a dinosaur who was this was the story of a dinosaur egg that somebody found. I guess a scientist found at the North Pole, and then got this dinosaur to come out of this egg, and
just like Yoshi in Super Mario World. Same.
And the funny thing of my personal history is that when I met my wife, actually, when we started dating, she reminds me of someone, and I couldn't quite place it, and it took me a while, and then I was like, oh, she looks a little bit like Ermel, the dinosaur, and you know, she was not thrilled.
I was gonna say you gotta probably keep that one to yourself.
No, I told her she was not thrilled with this, but to me it was actually I was happy to have that association. I still refer to her as my favorite dinosaur.
Oh,
but anyway, so the Augsburger Puppenkiste, and this is what Rolf had to say about this. Hold on.
Dass es in Augsburg die Augsburger Puppenkiste gibt.
So you guys may or may not know that in Augsburg, we have the Augsburger Puppenkiste, the theater with marionettes, and if you don't know, you got to Google it. But
Puppenkiste jetzt ab sofort Augsburger PEPIKISTE.
And now,
oh, that's perfect. PEPIKISTE. Yeah.
Now it's time to share the Augsburger PEPIKISTE.
Yes, the Augsburger Puppenkiste shall now be the Augsburger PEPIKISTE. There you go.
Boom. For our listeners at home, we've been showing pictures. We showed a picture of Ermel, and now we're showing a little editing done by yours truly called the Augsburger PEPIKISTE, where I crudely paste Pepi over the picture of some original Augsburger Puppenkiste.
I think you did a very nice job.
But right there we got Augsburger PEPIKISTE. So it's time to get off the train and hop in the puppet box for Ricardo Pepi, the great American hope, and now the great Augsburger hope.
It's the Schnitzel Boys, it's the Schnitzel Boys, it's the Schnitzel Boys.